Okay, we'll come back, and now we're going to actually break this into the pieces that we want to know and the exact thing that we have to really do in the where we arrange the work. So we go back to the board. Remember, we have for learner 1, I'll just reproduce the thing, this assessment plan 1, assessment plan 2. This is for both learners. I will do as before. I don't want to confuse anybody. I'll make it still simple. AP1, AP2. This level is planning. This is planning. You are planning. For learner 1, we are just going to put learner 1 and learner 2. You, the assessee, the trainee assessor, the one who is on this course, you have to have these 2 learners. And for each one, you have to have 1, 2 assessment plans. And in total, we said there should be 4 assessment plans that you're going to submit. Now the question arises, in the first assessment, which is this one, you are going to assess a range different things. For example, you are going to assess this plan. What sort of things are you going to assess? You are going to have standards. Okay, standards. Standards. In this one, if the questions you assess in the first assessment plan are, for example, standard 1, whatever it is that you're assessing, if you're assessing health and social care, if you're assessing plumbing, if you're assessing chemistry, anything that you're assessing, do different things. For example, if you've got standards 1 to 20, in this first assessment plan, you might assess this candidate standard 1, 3, 4, maybe and 5 in the first assessment. In this first assessment, and you choose, we also choose methods of assessment. So, in this assessment plan, you choose from the standards or questions. If they are 1 to 20 in your own area, don't assess everything in one assessment. Choose. We are going to do standard 1, 3, 4, 5 in this first assessment plan, and choose the assessment methods you are going to use. After they've done this assessment, prepare a second assessment for them, which will go in the second assessment. Okay? Since you have already used standards 1 to 20 and 1, 3, 4, 5 have been assessed, why don't you choose to test them on 2, 6, maybe 7, are you with me? Maybe 8, maybe 10. So this assessment has covered that. And for this one also choose an assessment method. The methods of assessment used in this one shouldn't be the same ones that you use in this one. The idea for us training you is to see the range of assessment methods that you can use, and also how you can apply certain techniques to judge based on the method of assessment and the things you're assessing. These standards are actually questions. You can make them into questions. And what we mean by standards, for example, in health and social care, moving and handling, you'll be looking at moving or using equipment with a specific standard. There's a standard way in which you use a hoist, so one of these must be that kind of standard. Or it could be administration of medicine. This 5 means the 5 rights or the 6 rights. I think there are now 6 rights. So we are judging that. So this is how you plan it. Now, for the second learner, same things, similarly. You will also produce 2 plans. If, for example, you do have 2 classes or 2 different subjects that you teach, it could be that this is in another subject area which you teach, or it could be in the same subject area. You've got 2 different sessions. It could be the same standards you're testing them on, or it could be that this learner is a little advanced, they're learning something further. So you choose those particular standards. In the same way, for distinction purposes, you create a list of standards there. It could be the same standard you tested that person on. Maybe if they have already passed 3, you test them on 4. Maybe if they've passed 5, you test them on 7. You understand that? Depends where this learner is. You know, in vocational learning, people learn at different paces. But in there, the same thing. After you do this, you must also choose a method of assessment. Choose a method of assessment. Whatever you do, all the time, it must have, your assessment plan must reflect the method of assessment. When it comes to this one again, the second assessment plan, you're not judging, evaluating them on the same thing. It could be that this person is covered this already, so he is on 9, maybe he's on 11, standard 11, maybe he's on 12, or she's on 13, whatever it is. Similarly, choose assessment method. In short, you discover that you have now produced from your standards, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 assessment plans for 2 different learners. This way you begin to hit the actual standards we require of you to submit in the portfolio as I went through there. Now let me just make a point. It's very important that when you're making an assessment plan, you have your own specification of the area in which you are assessing. Sometimes it becomes a bit confusing because you're an assessor and I, who is your assessor on this qualification, you might confuse the evidence you are looking for from your own assessees. You understand that point? What I require from you is 2 assessment plans per learner. 4 assessment plans in total, which is coming to me. For your learners, you're not asking any assessment plans from them. You are making an assessment plan to go and assess them. They will give you the evidence you ask for. And this is where we're now going to break down what kind of evidence are you going to ask for from your own learners, and what kind of assessment method you are going to use on your own learners. And when you use those methods, I, your assessor, you're submitting to me or whoever is looking after you so that we can qualify you as a qualified assessor. Do you get the point? Okay, pause the video and I would like you to go back through this once again before you go to the next section. The key point is the clearer you become at every stage, the easier it is for you to run through this course and do the right thing. Pause the video and play back again and again until you can play back no more. It is just right there. You like it? Thank you.